As anime and manga fans, we've been blessed with a number of different battle systems over the years, ranging from the Ki system in Dragon Ball, Chakra system of Naruto, to the Heralded Nen system of Hunter x Hunter. The type of battle system a show employs always makes for interesting debates and analysis. Much has been made over the years of the Ryatsu battle system of Bleach, and while this video isn't a breakdown of that system as a whole, I do believe that there's more to the Bankai system than largely expressed in the Bleach community. It is my hope that by the end of this video, you'll arrive at a newfound understanding of the Bankai in Bleach. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's answer a very basic question about the Bankai. How is it attained? The requirements to attain a Bankai are as follows. First, you must have a Zanpakuto. If you're a new Soul Reaper, it's most likely going to be an Asauchi. After pouring your essence into the Asauchi over time, you learn its name, the Shikai. After obtaining Shikai, you continue to commune with your Zanpakuto until you are able to materialize your Zanpakuto in physical form. At that point, subduing your Zanpakuto by whatever means it requires will allow you to attain Bankai. That is the system of attainment. After attainment, the Soul Reaper must train for an additional 10 years to fully master their Bankai. These are the rules. Now, it's important to understand that Kubo will often create certain characters who embody a specific ideal he wants to elaborate on. For example, a character like Yamamoto, Byakuya, or Shunsui are portrayed to be the embodiment of what it means to be a Shinigami. The Espada are all representations of different aspects of death. Stark is to solitude as Baragon is to senescence and Haribel's sacrifice. And if you look through Bleach and isolate the characters who embody what it means to be a master, you begin to see a pattern. In contrast, if you isolate characters who are depicted as Rookie Soul Reapers, if you will, such as Rukia, Renji, or Ichigo, and so on, you'll start to notice trends. So don't take my word for it, let's look at the trends I'm talking about specifically. And let's start from the so-called Soul Reaper rookies. And I'm using that term loosely, it's just to reference the characters who aren't seen as master Soul Reapers. We'll use Renji, Rukia, and Ichigo for this. And I chose them because they are main characters who get extensive screen time and attention from Kubo. First, we have Renji Obara. Renji Obara at the start of Bleach had a Shikai, Zabimaru. During the Rescue Rukia arc, we learned that he was secretly training to attain Bankai and had progressed far enough to be able to materialize Zabimaru. He consequently obtained Bankai and battled Byakuya Kuchiki in one-on-one combat. During that battle, Kubo specifically establishes that because Renji had recently attained Bankai, he had very little control over it, fumbling over himself multiple times, and this gives us our first conclusion. The first sign of an unmastered Bankai is a lack of control. Let's look at Ichigo next. After obtaining Tensa Zangetsu in less than 3 days, Ichigo stormed onto Shogoku Hill and battled Byakuya Kuchiki. During this battle, Ichigo's hollow, White Ichigo, took over, and while he was fighting, Kubo had White say some very interesting things. He explicitly states that every bone in your body is creaking under the weight of your own spiritual pressure, but I'll show you how I use Bankai, and we can draw our second conclusion from this. An unmastered Bankai will cause the user self-harm. Rukia Kuchiki gives us another example to back up this very same point. In her battle against As Not, she showcases her new Bankai, Haka no Tagame. But after she defeats As Not and is in the process of melting herself, her palm begins to crack, and Byakuya has to step in to instruct her on how to slowly melt the ice. Rukia had only recently gained Bankai, and due to her lack of mastery, she risked causing herself harm due to her lack of control. So to restate, we now have two signals of an unmastered Bankai, a lack of control and self-harm. Let's move on to the flip side and observe how the so-called masters utilize their Bankai. When you observe the Soul Reaper masters and their method of Bankai use, you begin to notice a trend. And let's start with Yamamoto to observe this trend. Yamamoto is depicted to be one of the most powerful Soul Reapers in history. He says so himself. No Soul Reaper born within 1,000 years has been stronger than I. But if there is one characteristic of his Bankai I want us to take away, it's this. Zanka no Tachi is a 4-stage Bankai, a multi-stage Bankai. It has the north, south, east, and west. Keep that in mind. If you then take a look at Shunsui Kyoraku's Bankai, Katen Kyokatsu Karamatsu Shinju, he also has a 4-stage Bankai. First, second, third, and final dawns. In Yamamoto's case, they're north, south, east, and west. They're stages. In Shunsui's case, they're dawns, acts, if you will. This is important as well because yet again, Shunsui Kyoraku is given an example of a Master Soul Reaper who has a multi-stage Bankai. Let's look at our final example with Byakuya Kuchiki. In Byakuya Kuchiki's case, he also has a multi-stage Bankai. He has Senbonzakura Kageyoshi, Shuke, Gokei, Hakuteiken, and Ika Senjika. Sure, in Byakuya's case it's not 4, but instead it's 5, but that doesn't negate the point because the point still remains. All the characters who were depicted to be Soul Reaper Masters all have a Bankai with multiple stages. In addition to that, all of them with the exception of Shunsui Kyoraku have a mechanism to protect them from being harmed by their own Bankai. Byakuya has the save zone to protect him from his Bankai, and Yamamoto is unaffected by his own Flame Ryatsu. Shunsui is an exception because his Bankai specifically forces him to abide by the rules of the story, but hopefully you guys see the ideas behind this. So you might be wondering, Rebirth, okay cool, I understand what you're saying, but what's the point of this? What does this tell us about Bleach as a whole? The reason I believe this information is important is because there is a world of difference between a Soul Reaper who has mastered his Bankai versus one who has not. And in a battle setting, that could be the difference maker. Think about it. Rukia uses Haka no Tsugame and defeats her opponent, but without Byakuya there, she could have broken her body into pieces. Ichigo Kurosaki against Byakuya Kuchiki was fighting with a handicap because his own body was under extreme pressure due to his Bankai. Take Kenpachi Zaraki. He attains Bankai and immediately heads into battle, and what happens? He blows his arm off and can't maintain his Bankai anymore. On the other hand, characters like Byakuya, Yamamoto, and Shunsui do not have that handicap, and in addition to that, they all possess multiple stages which gives them an advantage in battle. I believe that when analyzing the power levels and the power structures of Bleach characters, we need to take the mastery level of a Bankai into consideration. I think that it gives an accurate representation of how powerful or how close to a person's peak they are. Let me give you a disclaimer, so I'll tell you this. Not all characters will adhere to this rule, and that's okay. I think that there's some specific qualities that each character possesses that allows them to dodge this rule ever so slightly depending on who they are. If you're interested to seeing me talk about it, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll start a series where we go through each and every character of notoriety and break down their power structures to observe their mastery level over Shikai, Bankai, Hakuda, Zanjutsu, Kido, and Ho-Ho. With that, I'll leave you guys there. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do consider liking and subscribing. If you're a ReZero fan, I have a playlist with entire reviews of every episode in ReZero, and if you're a Bleach fan, do stick around. With the anime and Kubo's new chapter coming out, I have a ton of interesting things on the horizon. And with that, I bid you adieu. It's your boy Rebirth, signing off. Peace.